Okay, we're going to start now on making the back of page 1. So here's the front. Don't forget, if for some reason you skip around, the opening now will be on the right-hand side. So for that, you will need 4 pieces of cardstock. I used heavyweight for all of them, although this didn't have to be. This piece is 4 1/8 by 3 1/8. You'll need 3 1/4 by 8, 5 1/2 by 7, and 8 by 6 1/2. We're going to score the last 3 at 1/2 inch. So this one, the 6 1/2 side will be at the top. Oops. Score 1/2 inch. Oh, wait. No, I'm not sure about that one. The 3 1/4 by 8. Yes. No, I'm not going to score this one at all. So that's it for scoring. And I want to talk to you a little bit about my thought process on designing. So the last page, of course, we had hearts in red. Now this page, I've used this 4x6 cut apart as my inspiration piece. So I'll use the paper that's got the roses. I could have gone with this paper because that's in the inspiration piece, but instead I went with this paper to accompany, just because the roses was so busy and I didn't want to introduce this as well, although you could. I also will use, this was one of the border strips we cut off in the beginning. So that is my thought process. Oh, the other thing is, so since we had a lot of red, I wanted to get away from red, and I'm going to use this gold. So knowing that, let's get started. So I want to first, whoops, there was a change to that. So this 5x7, actually we do need to score this with the 5 1/2 by 7, with the 5 1/2 inch side at the top, scored at 1/2 inch. There was an extra piece that is 4 3/8 by 6 3/8. That one we do not need to score. So first what we're going to do is take the 5x7, and again, remembering that the opening to put on our hinge, or if you're not using the hinge, if you're using your L pages, this is the part closest to the spine. We will go ahead and add glue and center this on the left side, centering it top to bottom. Okay, and then I will take this 3 1/4 by 8 piece. I guess I could have folded and burnished ahead of time, but I will add glue to that 1/2 inch tab. And this will go on the left-hand side. So you needed to put this piece down first, and then this piece. I'm trying to make sure there's enough room that this will still close. And there is. This 8 1/2, 8 by 6 1/2. Fold and burnish. This will go on the right side. Okay, this is going to go like that, and then like this, and this is going to go here. All right, so let's take the 4 3/8 by 6 3/8, and I cut a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Is that right? Yep. And this piece is going to go right on top. It's one of the patterns in solids. It's got the yellow ochre, I guess is the color, hearts on it. It doesn't matter. You can ink it if you want. Just center it with a 1/16 of an inch on all four sides. And then this will go on top of that, centered as well. Yes, that's a pretty image, isn't it? Okay, so we've got that. Now put this aside. Okay, we're going to cover this so we can so we can move on. I'm going to turn it this way and we'll add this piece first. Now, yes, you could have used this side, but the reason I added yet another element is because I wanted to introduce this with the yellow ochre, but I didn't want it straight yellow ochre, but I did cut a little 1/8 of an inch piece. Now, if these are too fiddly for you, you don't have to do these. You could just cut the next piece a little bigger. So I am putting this right next to, not right next to, a 1/16 of an inch away. And then I have this piece, and it's just the solid. It's not quite black, so you know it's there, but it's almost black. This is 3/8 of an inch, so that'll go on there. And then this is going to go onto here. So make sure you have top and bottom. And I'm just gonna, oh wait, I need something on this side. 1 second. So I cut a piece that's 6 3/8. Is that right? 6 1/4. It should be by 3. And I'm going to put that, turn this over, it'll go on the left side here. You could do this side if you wanted to. Now I could have put a magnet on here, but I put a magnet here, and then this will adhere down onto there. So there will be about 1/4 of an inch border, top and bottom. I'll put a line of glue over here, and then center it. There we go. Okay, so now we've got a magnet here and a magnet there, and you see this peeking out. These will have, you have to make sure the clock is right side up. So this is 2 5/8 by 7 7/8. 7 7/8. 2 5/8 by 7 7/8. And you can have one, do one for both sides. So there's one. And here's the other. Now you could, if you wanted to, put on something plain, and this could be a journaling spot. Oops. Okay. All right, I'm going to start from the actual page. This piece is 6 7/8 by 2 7/8. So I'm going to glue this down to the bottom. Now I'm going to glue it on top of these tabs. If that bothers you, you can add a piece of cardstock on top of it, but that will make it get bulkier. I have this strip. I know I wrote these down somewhere. This is 5/8 by 4 1/4. I'm going to put that up here. Is anyone else seeing the mistake I made? I cut this piece too short. Oops. I was going to do this on the other side, wasn't I? Never mind. I take this back. I'm going to put this on the other side. Because I cut this short, I was going to add a piece over here. So this will go over there. And then I will add a photo mat. Come on. Okay, and then this again was from that first paper we cut. And this is 7, no, it's not, 6 7/8 by 3/4. And that's going to go at the top. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little piece here. If you cut it correctly, you won't have to do that. Whoops. Oh, it needs to be 7 7/8. Okay. Okay, we'll take the 4 1/8 by 3 1/8 piece of cardstock and glue this. Yes, I know it's so sad that we're gluing the flamingo, but we have another one and we'll use it. But I wanted this to be a spot for journaling. And so we're going to put it here. I'm going to have just about 1/2 inch showing. So I'll center it on the page and leave 1/2 inch up at the top. Now over here, so we have this piece, which is 1/4 inch by, oops, 4 1/4. And this is going to go on the top of the page, 1/16 inch away from the top. Then we'll put our white photo mat underneath there, 1/16 inch gap. And this will go on the bottom. And this is 1 5/16 by 4 1/4. So that'll go down here. And then this is 1 1/2 by 7 7/8. And this will go on the side. Now I didn't need any other magnets because the spot with the journaling card holds everything together. Like here. Okay, but we have this. This is 5 7/8. Oh no, 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. And I cut this out of the 12 by 12 paper. Okay, then we'll do this one. Okay, and then finally we're going to do this flap. So this piece is 13/16 by 5 13/16. I don't know why it's such a crazy number, but I'm going to put that on the bottom with a 1/16 of an inch gap on the sides and the bottom. Then I'll add our photo mat, which will go over the magnet, but that's okay. I try not to, but sometimes it's just how it's got to be. So I'll put that there. Then I've got this piece. It's 1 1/2 by 7 1/16. So just one of those teeny tick marks over after the 7. Leave our little 16, and now I do it. And I feel like that 1/16 of an inch is too much, taking it off. And we'll try it again. I measure it and it seems like it's right. There we go. All right, by 7. And then this was 13/16. I'm dry fitting it. Looks a little bit big. I'm going to take a little down just sometimes after you've put it on. So it's going to be about 3/4 of an inch by 4 1/4. So that'll go here. Okay. And there we go. So we've got this, and I did add, I don't know why that, I did add this, and then that'll close, and that'll close like that. So the reason I put the photo mat here is so it's covered and you see everything's cohesive when everything's closed. So that's it for the back of page 1. Let's work on the front of page 2. Okay, so we've got the back of page 1. Now we're going to work on the front of page 2 to coordinate with that. So I'm just going to take my little pocket here. It's open on this side, and we're going to work on that. The pieces of cardstock that you'll need, and these are 110 pound, you'll need one that's 6 by 8, one that's 3 1/4 by 8, and then you'll need a piece for a flap that's 7 by 4 1/2. Now, if you've got a journaling card, I'm trying to grab one. If you're using a different collection, let's assume it's going as a landscape one. You can use that, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use this frame as a focal point on this side. So just grab your frame if you have it. If you don't, look for a card or whatever. So let me grab my scoreboard. and score these pieces. So the 7 by 4.5 with the 7-inch side at the top, we'll score it 1/2 inch. Easy. 3 1/4 by 8 with the 3 1/4 side at the top, score it 1/2 inch. This again was one of the leftover pieces when I cut something, the page maybe. And this 6 by 8 with the 6-inch side at the top, score it 1/2 inch. So, you know, the reason I turn it upside down is just so the writing is correct, not for any other reason. So let's fold and burnish on these lines. And it's really an easy page. Oops, I haven't even gotten my glue out for this morning. I keep it in a little mason jar with some paper towel at the bottom that should be wet. It is not. I'll need to get up and do it. This is my morning crafting session. And if you keep it, then I can just keep the tip off and it'll stay usable throughout the day. I usually, if I remember, will put the pin in overnight, which I did, but I did not check this morning to make sure that it needed, to see if it needed water, which it does. Okay, so anyhow, the 6 by 8 piece goes to the right. The 3 1/4 by 8 piece will go to the left. And just try to keep it at the edge. Usually, I put my pages in before I add my elements. So this is different for me. Okay, now this 7 by 4.5 will go to the right side on top of the 6 by 8, centered on the right hand side. I am eyeballing it. If you want to measure it, you can. The important thing is that you do keep it this parallel with the bottom. So we've got that there, and then I'll burnish here. Now I will take a magnet and put a magnet here and here, and then I'll show you how we'll decorate it. So wasn't that simple? All right, we're going to start with the detail-y stuff first. Okay, so I've got this frame, and I realize I put the double-sided adhesive on the wrong side. So that's mistake number 1. I will go ahead and peel that off and just cut some more. Yes, I'm peeling off some of the chipboard. I'm going to put it right back on here. So this double-sided adhesive is dimensional adhesive, but it's really thin. Nope, I'm going to have to cut it. So this is from scrapbook.com, and it is, they don't give me, it's 1/8 of an inch wide, and I can't tell you how thin it is, but I can tell you it's really thin. So it's nice. My idea is, we have a frame. It sort of makes sense with a frame. I'm going to just cut this whole thing off so I can, and I cut 2 pieces at once. And it's a very good value. I forget how much it was, but I thought it was a good value. If I don't remember to link it, then Um, I do have some other things from scrapbook.com linked below, so go ahead and check those out and put in foam adhesive strips 1/8 of an inch wide. I mean, can you see how thin they are? Very thin. And I don't mind that I have glue down there. I feel like sometimes with foam adhesive, you want to have glue because I can't guarantee that it always will stay down. So my idea, remove all of this clutter, is that I'm going to have that on here and you will be able to slide a picture in this frame. But in case you don't want to put a picture in there, I've got a couple of layers. This is 2 inches by 4. This is 1 7/8 by 3 7/8. I can tell you that. I'm going to glue that on. I did ink around the edges of this. It just was a scrap from somewhere. But I did ink around the edges just to tone it down. And then this, I cut off all of the yellow ochre border. It is 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. Did I give the right measurement of that? I was going to corner punch these 3 pieces with this corner rounder. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do it here because I know I need to cut these corners down. So if you want to corner round it and just add a more decorative element, you are quite welcome to. I needed to cut the corners down because I want to make sure that you don't see the corners here. And you sort of do. So I still need to cut the corners down. You won't see them, so it's no big deal. All right, I'm going to peel off the backing of this. Add glue. And plus that'll give me a little give to it. Okay. So you still can slide something in here if you wanted to. Okay, let me explain about this piece. Whoop. Well, that shouldn't have happened. That's right. It'll stick real well. Okay. So I can't say I made a mistake, but I can certainly say I didn't plan ahead. I had to tape 2 pieces together to get the right measurement because I didn't have enough pieces in the size that I needed. I wanted this to go below here. I just wanted something with a pattern. I tried it without a pattern and I didn't like it. So I had to tape this. This is the back side. So I had to tape this and hope that it will look good. And it will. By the time it's all said and done, it will look fabulous on here. So sometimes we make a mistake and we have to improvise, but you will not know. So this piece, let me give you some measurement. If you have a piece left over because you planned better than I did, is 6 3/8
by 4 3/8.
And that is going to go right here on our flap. Do I mind that there is tape showing? Nope, because we're going to cover it up. I taped it in the front just to make sure I wanted to match my patterns as much as I could. So I taped it in the front and then I finished taping it in the back. So after all said and done, it doesn't look too bad. And then this piece, make sure I get the top, yep, will go on here. So let me add more glue. Glue really good at the top because I want to make sure if you slide something in, that top piece is going to stay. And then I'll center that on here. All right, can you guys tell where the patterns matched of this bottom piece? I can't even. Yeah, no idea. Well, that worked pretty well then, huh? And then we can take this piece and adhere it right there in the center. And that'll make a nice focal point for that page. But it's not such a big focal point. It will detract from the one on the back of page 1. Boy, I'm just messing up all over the place today. My glue, I had to add water to. I added way too much. Okay, so there's that. Now, again, because I didn't have enough pieces, I had to piece this together, but that's okay. So this is 4 1/16. If you have one full piece, that would be even better. 4 1/16 by 6 3/8. And this is 3/8 by 6 3/8. I'm assuming you're going to use the same paper that I am, but if not, you'll be all right. And if you do, then there's ways of making sure you have enough paper to finish this. Okay, this piece is 2 11/16 by 7 7/8. Everything's going to be 7 7/8 up and down. I didn't piece together too many crazy things on these 2 pages. On this side, though, this one is 1 5/8. This one 5/8 by 7 7/8. I was not sure when I was looking to see which way this goes, because it looks like the leaves are going down, so I would turn it around, but then the butterfly is upside down. And I don't think butterflies can fly upside down, can they? So I had to think. This is 1 inch by 7 7/8. I had to either have the leaves upside down or the butterfly upside down, and I chose to have the butterfly the right side up. This one is 3.5 by 7 7/8. And this will, of course, cover the 1/2 inch flap from this. Oops. This is 1/8 by 7 7/8. Yes, I'm going to these fiddly measurements again. You do not have to use them. If you want to make this piece bigger, you can do this. This piece is cut 1 11/16. So if you cut this probably 1 3/4, you wouldn't have to have that 1/8 measurement. Don't quote me on that. Measure it yourself, but yeah, just me and those weird measurements. But I mean, I like how that looks. All right, yes, something even crazier going on there. Let's take this piece, which is 4 1/4 by 1 1/2. That'll go on the bottom right. And this, of course, is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And this piece is 1 1/4 by 7 7/8. All right. So I cut one whole piece of paper, 7 7/8 by 6 7/8. It's 6 7/8 across, 7 7/8 going up and down. Am I putting this up? No, that's right. The butterfly is right. Okay, so now I cut white cardstock 4 1/8 by 4 1/8, 2 of them. Black cardstock 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. I'm going to put one in the top right, one in the bottom left, having about 1/8 of an inch showing. Yes, it will overlap in the center. Well, I guess it doesn't matter how it overlaps. All right, 1/4 of an inch showing. So sometimes you've got those photos that you've just got excess. So this is how we are going to do that. Actually, we should not glue the overlap part. But what you can do here is add a piece. Do we want that piece? That was what I was intending on using. And that's here as well, but we're going to cover that with a photo. So yes, we could do that. So do you like that? I sort of do. So I probably will add some kind of brads to this before I put it on. But that is the page completed, and let me show you it next to this. So the designs are similar, but not exactly the same. I don't mind having words here. It's okay if a photograph will cover it, though. That's what we intend, because there's no words over here. I would hate to have words here and words there. I just feel like it detracts from the whole layout. But it's your album. You can do what you want. If you can dream it, you can do it. Okay, that's it for the front of page 2.